Hello and welcome back. So, I've managed to improve my microphone quality, though it's a little bit middle of the road, meaning that it doesn't quite do what I wanted it to do. I have to position it in a weird way. The stand doesn't quite work, but I figured at least this way you guys will be able to hear me more. For this one, I'm just going to run through the different settings that I've been using for the series. I actually have a bunch of videos that I've been wanting to upload, but my internet's really slow. So right now I've still only got the Jayavarman series, but I thought I'd run through the settings before I upload the next content video, which is going to have recording, because I think I'm going to go through and re-record all of the leaders I did with audio this time, because it might be a bit more entertaining. And yeah, so the main reason I'm doing this is more for personal development than anything else, other than like more than views or anything like that. I wanted to learn how to edit videos. I want to learn how to make content so that I can have those skills, and I thought the easiest way to do that would be in a game that I really enjoy, and it's just sort of easier form content that I can hone my skills on. So having said that, I actually really enjoy this, but just so you guys are aware, this isn't really about YouTube fame more than my own self-development. Anyway, so for the settings that I normally do, I usually go with Emperor because I find King and Prince are just way too easy, and Immortal and Deity aren't actually really harder so much as just less fun to play against. I don't think Emperor's even particularly good. The AI in this game for me is not amazing, but mods don't seem to fix that. And that's what I meant. My microphone just fell from the perch I got it on. So Emperor is kind of a bit of a good balance. I find with Immortal and Deity, the AI isn't better, so you just spend more time behind them, which just means less great people, less wonders, less getting to the New Age first, less settling overseas first. It doesn't mean that you can't do it, but it just means that they're going to do it first, and it just takes some of the fun out of the game. And yes, it's a bit more difficult, but not in the ways that you'd want. Whereas as I said, King and Prince, they're just too easy. So Emperor's a bit of a good middle position. Some of those early game wonders are tricky to get. You do have to work to get a religion and some of the early great people, but it still leaves the whole game ahead of you for you to sort of catch up to the same place, and if you're good, then get ahead of them. So Emperor, I only really like doing Ancient Era Start. I've never really enjoyed any of the other ones for various reasons, but yeah. Game speed, normally I've been doing quick. I find online is just too quick, but I thought I might try doing some normal speed ones. I don't know, I've played a lot of these too. The epic and marathon ones can be fun, but also really dry, so maybe I'll do those in a longer series later. Map-wise, Continents is actually one of my least favorites. I find it really boring. Usually I actually prefer doing Continents and Islands. This one here, I don't know why I didn't start the series with that, so I might actually change that one for this one, since I'm sort of doing a bit of a soft reset. I also like Terra, but the AI doesn't know how to play Terra very well. Those are probably my favorites. Pangaea is just a good base one for multiplayer so that you don't get separated from your mates, which I play a lot of this with my mates. So. Small, I find, is just a good size. I enjoy standard, but there's usually a bit more open space than I'd like. Having said that, you know what? We're trying something different. Let's go standard. It also does just mean there's a greater variety of leaders, so it's more likely that each of the leaders have the different sort of wonder categories and great people covered. Again, just meaning it's less likely you're going to get the stuff that you want. I'm not even saying to be super good and have a really good civilization, but more when you have different leaders, you're all competing for the same category. So if they just get that wonder before you, then, you know, that's okay. You can still do well at the game, but it's just kind of annoying, and I don't like that happening too often rather than just sort of a standard amount. Anyway, as far as resources and stuff like that, when I'm playing with my mates, I usually do Legendary Start, but for these videos, I've been doing a Standard Start. Resources, I like Standard as well, because it creates more fighting over the resources. Natural Wonders I don't touch, because they're kind of broken, so if you touch them, you're either fixing them or you're breaking them even more, and I don't really know how I like that. I like doing New World Start because of the mountain ranges and hills. I usually find mountain ranges are so good, and it's just nice having a greater chance of getting them, though they're not essential to play. Don't touch too many of the other settings unless I'm doing something specific with my mates, but for our videos, it's always been just this essentially so far, besides the continents rather than continents and islands. For these settings, I find the only ones that I use are ones that I don't think fundamentally change the game. Barbarian Clans mode just makes sense. Barbarians are useless without them. Heroes and Legends, I have to admit, is actually a little bit broken because the AI doesn't know how to use the Heroes and Legends pack at all. But it's also just really fun, so I don't know. I try to use it, but without abusing the fact that I can use it better than the AI. Monopolies and corporations is something the AI does alright with, so I don't mind using that one. Plus, it's again, it just adds some more fun to the game. And secret societies, again, AI does not know how to use, but some of the secret societies just give you inherent buffs that are difficult to misplay with, like the Void Singers. You can optimize it, sure, but like on an average game, I might not use cultists too much and just take the faith buffs from it. So, and the AI can do that. So again, something that gives me an advantage, but I enjoy it. It's more content for the game. Tech shuffle, I have done that before. I didn't find it made the game too much harder, just a bit more chaotic. I actually wouldn't mind trying one of those at some point, so maybe I will. And for all of these, I usually leave them on. I used to turn score off because I didn't like the idea, but I think in hundreds of games, I've never once had a score victory, so I just kind of stopped bothering with it. When it comes to leaders, so far, I've recorded mostly videos of leaders that I like. Most of the leaders that I like are faith-based guys, like Jaya Varman's my absolute favorite. He's awesome. He is, unfortunately, super overpowered, I think, by every tier list, but I love that man so much. I used to think the picture that he had really deformed ears because I couldn't see that it was an ear. As far as the other ones, like I'm getting into Jadwiga a lot recently, and Coupe was another one, but he's a weird one for me. Oddly enough, the original sort of non-DLC characters like Peter, I'm not so fond of when it comes to faith-based playthroughs. Pedro is one of my absolute favorites, but because my playstyle is so heavy on great people, I love great people, I really maximize those, he just becomes absolutely broken, so I try to stay away from him most of the time. But, Nzinga Mabande is also another really overpowered one that I like. Unfortunately, a lot of my favorites are overpowered. Pachikudi I think is a lot more balanced, and I really enjoy him too. I actually don't enjoy people like Sejong and Seondok too much. I find that the science, like, it's really good, but I just don't enjoy them as much. The Ottomans are pretty fun. Theodora, actually, now that I mention that, Basil, he is one of my favorites, but I have the worst luck with him. Every single time I've played multiplayer games with my mates as Basil, I have had just objectively atrocious starts without fail every single time. So I have a pretty mixed history with him. But yeah, so those are most of my favorites. I think without fail, Jaya Varman. I'm Australian, so John Curtin's up there, but no one ever declares war on me enough when I play him. So yeah. Anyway, that's this video, guys. Thank you so much.